What is up, guys? Archon Tsunami here bringing you guys another YouTube video. I know it's been a while. I'm trying to get back into content creation. The internet issue that we've had for over a year now, where I wasn't able to stream or basically use the internet at all, has kind of been fixed somewhat, I would say, over the past couple months. I'm easing back into Twitch. I'll be doing more YouTube videos as well. But it is fitting that we kind of start with this story because I was going to make a video talking about Overwatch 2 beta when all of the internet issues decided to flare back up again, right? So we didn't get a third beta, and now we understand why we didn't get a third beta because Overwatch 2 is losing Geoff Goodman, their lead hero designer, which would probably explain why Kiriko wouldn't have been ready for the third beta, which was the whole point of that beta was to test her out and make sure she was balanced around everybody else in the kit or the cast, sorry, the kit. But no, everybody else in the cast. And I can say after playing the first beta, the game definitely felt rough. Like Overwatch has had a very weird history with balance, from being able to have unlimited heroes to only one of each hero. Then you had 2-2-2, which kind of locked you in role queue, right? And now we have one tank, two DPS, and two healers, and that creates a weird dynamic as well, because a lot of the off tanks are still built around having that second tank. So Diva, Roadhog, Zarya are very rough to play now. Are they impossible to play? No. Obviously, anybody who's really good with them can play them, but it is very rough. And then you also run into the issue where team comp actually matters more now than it's ever mattered before. Because before you could just have a mishmash of dive and, not dive, and it would work its way out eventually, right? Like Roadhog, you could have a Roadhog off tank and a Reinhardt, and then have Hanzo shooting in the back for picks, and maybe a Genji diving into the back line or something, or the Hog could push up and help him kill something, right? Or Diva could dive with the Genji, something like that, right? Well, that no longer exists. So what you end up with now is you end up with a DPS comp that wants to play half dive, half not dive, a support line that feels the same way, and it all depends on what tank you play. Like if you're playing Winston, then you're enabling the dive portion of your team, and the rest of your team kind of gets left out in the open, and there's really nothing that they can do outside of, like Hanzo would have to like peek cover or whatever to fight. Your supports have to peek cover to fight and heal you, and it feels bad right now all around. Not to mention that if the enemy team just happens to run dive and you're running dive, it becomes a game of who loses their supports first, right? I mean, you could argue that's kind of what it is now, but at least with what it is now with 222, you can have an off tank sit back like Roadhog and protect your supports. And you have to keep in mind that there's no stuns anymore. So Tracer is pretty much uncontested right now. You can't stun her with Brig, you can't stun her with Cassidy. The only thing you can do is you can sleep her with Ana and pray that you land that sleep. That's really the only counterplay to dive right now is Ana's sleep dart. Unless you want to waste a shatter turning around, right? And it goes kind of twofold as well. Like if your tank's playing Reinhardt and your DPS want to play dive, they're in the back line or they're diving into the enemy team. You have to really coordinate with your Ryan where he's going to be able to draw attention. Because if Ryan goes early, he tries to create space, for him and the healers. He gets just annihilated 1v5, or your support or your DPS get annihilated 2v5 because the enemy team gets to turn around for free on them and attack them, right? So it feels very rough. I don't quite know. And then you have the Doom rework, and that to me was just a complete mess. It was all over the place. Like they wanted to give Doom his punch, they wanted to give him kind of the ability to do a lot of damage. Because otherwise Doom really doesn't do anything. He doesn't produce a shield. He I guess if you stand behind him, he blocks, right? He puts his arms up and he blocks and charges his punch, but outside of that, he really doesn't do anything. So comp matters more now than it's ever mattered ever. And that's fine and dandy, but you can still feel how the original balance philosophy is still there. Like it's rough. And like I said, losing Geoff Goodman only kind of exacerbates the chaos that's there, right? Behind the scenes. We were getting a little bit of a peek now into what's going on. The lead hero designer behind Overwatch's huge roster of characters and the ones to come in its upcoming sequel has left Blizzard, the company confirmed to PC Gamer. Geoff Goodman made the decision to leave Blizzard earlier this year, so it was something that was announced at the beginning of the year. Blizzard spokesperson said the last public appearance by Goodman was in a group interview with press in June. Blizzard provided a statement about Goodman's departure. We thank Geoff for his many years of service, wish him well, future endeavors. Basically, they're explaining how he was a part of Project Titan, how he was with World of Warcraft. Major reworks for Doomfist and Orisa. New hero. Oh my God! So yeah, he had a big hand in the Doomfist rework, the Orisa rework, Sojourn, and Junker Queen, and likely had a hand in several of the game's upcoming heroes, including new support Kiriko. So he has been a major part of the design team. Even though he was going to leave, they still had him handling all of the new Overwatch 2 content from a hero perspective. Um, Basically, Goodman said the team made sure everyone was in a good spot and felt safe before returning to work on the game. It seems to be everyone, much happier now and things are moving forward, but I still think it's there. I think they're talking about the whole issue, yeah, for the discrimination lawsuit or the sexual harassment lawsuit. Overwatch 2's October free-to-play is imminent, but some fans of the original game are dismayed by what will change in the sequel. The game recently detailed the season battle pass, and the issue is that they're actually shoving heroes inside the battle pass as well. That's not covered here, obviously. This is just Geoff Goodman leaving. But I don't know whose decision it was. If it's Activision Blizzard head Bobby Kotick still trying to get as much money as he can before the merger happens and he gets removed from power. I don't think he's been removed yet. I don't think he'll be removed until the end of the year. So it could be, they're trying to money grab. Battlegrounds also seen a recent change in its status as a free to play game. Hearthstone Battlegrounds is now essentially, in a way, pay to win because in order to unlock 4 hero choices at the start instead of only having 2, you have to buy the Battle Pass, and the Battle Pass can only be acquired through in game currency, which requires real money. Whereas before this change this season, you could purchase the Battle Pass with gold and you could get access to 4 heroes, emotes, and all that stuff. So it seems like Blizzard's heading in a very dangerous direction, and it is mildly concerning that, we're putting heroes in a battle pass as well when the game is built around hero balance in general. Like, it's not like Call of Duty where you can slap in a gun like a crossbow or something, right? It one shots people, but is it going to be meta defining? No. Can you still compete against people who have it? Yes. I'm trying to think of like some other gun that they've put in the game. And honestly, they haven't put any guns behind the paid portion of the battle pass in a long, long time. Everything's been unlockable from the free portion. And I did hear that the battle pass is going to have the heroes locked behind the free portion, but again, heroes are so meta warping depending on who they are and what their kits do that even having them in the battle pass is going to be very rough for the game as a whole. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who's stepping in moving forward. This is an interesting thing to reveal 2 weeks before your game launches that your lead hero designer is leaving. I aired some of my grievances with how the game played when we got the beta. This also, like I said, explains why we didn't get the third beta. I imagine this had something to do with it. Probably Kiriko wasn't ready yet. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Who do you think's gonna step in? Who would you like to see step in? Maybe you guys have a game balancer in mind for maybe another company that you'd love to see step in. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm back. Later.